Good morning and welcome to today's presentation on e-commerce trends, why Bakerfield and Acumatica. My name is Will Jackman and I am an Acumatica account executive here at Bakerfield Solutions. This is our first week of our 4-week series aiming to demonstrate best practices of an e-commerce business from end to end. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to attend. We are going to try to cover a lot of information in a relatively short amount of time today, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to type those into the Q&A and I will try to respond to those accordingly. If we run out of time, I will follow up to those questions after today's presentation. And with that, let's begin. On the agenda for today's presentation, we're going to take a look at some of the most prevalent e-commerce trends that we are seeing today. We will then talk about why Acumatica and why that is the ERP solution that will put your business in the best place to be successful. And we will take a look actually also at a case study that had a successful implementation. And then finally, we will talk about why Bakerfield Solutions and why our team's expertise is necessary to put your business in the best position moving forward. According to Statista, e-commerce had over 17% of all retail sales in 2020, more than a 5% increase in 1 year, and that was more growth in that 1 year than in the previous 5 years combined. We live in a world where 80% of American consumers have purchased something online in the past month alone. Consumers are more savvy and have more information at their fingertips than ever before, with most doing research before making a purchasing decision. Convenience is listed as the number one most important thing as part of the personal shopping experience, with almost 80% of consumers listing it as such. Furthermore, according to the National Retail Federation, 90% of consumers say that convenience plays a role in their decision-making process, with a third of those consumers significantly more likely to pick a retailer based off of how convenient they are to use. Consumers want to have multiple devices that are accessible to use, such as a smartphone, where most consumers are now beginning their purchasing decision, to a tablet or a computer. Customers want options along the journey, whether that's a variety of payment options, such as the buy now, pay later option, which has skyrocketed around the world and in the US in popularity in the past year. Klarna and PayPal are a couple of good examples of those. Data actually shows that customers are willing to either buy more items or buy higher ticket items with the buy now, pay later option, as they feel more comfortable being able to break the payment down over a course of a few weeks or even months in some cases. Another thing that's a critical part of convenience on an e-commerce web store is having the ability to have a guest checkout. Not all customers are going to want to create an account on your site just to be able to check out. And research actually indicates that if you cannot provide that functionality, you will see a significantly higher amount of abandoned carts, which is losing potential revenue for your business. One final point I would like to make in the lines of convenience is the necessity of having a variety of shipping options. One of the worst things that can happen for a customer when you get all the way through the process and think that you want to buy something is to get to your shipping options and see that the earliest the package can arrive is in 2 to 3 weeks. Having a variety of shipping options from leading shipping carrier integrations is something that's absolutely essential that an ERP can provide, which is something that Acumatica can do. We have seen a really heightened emphasis on cybersecurity in the past couple of years. This is one of the main concerns that business owners have when operating an e-commerce web store or thinking about operating one. It is absolutely critical to select the right technology and the right partners to help keep your customers and your business safe. Another one of the most prevalent trends that we are seeing is this idea of total commerce. Customers are expecting consistent brand experiences all along the journey, with almost 90% of customers thinking that brands need to put forth a greater effort in providing a seamless shopping experience. As you can see from the figure on the left, customers are shopping all the time in micro moments rather than being planned. And so total commerce is this meet customers everywhere they want to shop, and that always on mindset that resides in so many people. Another major trend that we are seeing is how important it is to drive quality website traffic and visitor conversion. Global conversion rates are hovering around 2%, which is for individuals that will ultimately make a purchasing decision that get to your web store. As you can see from the figure on the left, these are different conversion rates by industry, and as you can tell, there's a pretty wide disparity between them. But I would like to point out that none of these different industries are converting at over a 4% clip, just highlighting how important it is that your e-commerce web store is set up to be successful and extremely user-friendly. And it all begins with search engine optimization and then the functionality on the site itself. Filtering has become absolutely critical in both B2B and B2C environments. Autofill capabilities for a website versus ones that do not have autofill capabilities are 6 times more likely to convert than others, which is a huge necessity to have for your web store, which is something that Acumatica can provide. One final trend worth mentioning here is the rise of direct-to-consumer selling. So as you can imagine, foot traffic has been down in stores for obvious reasons over the past year now. As you can see from the image on the right, the direct-to-consumer approach takes out several different layers that a traditional retailer would have to go through. Research actually has indicated that customers would rather deal directly with businesses rather than having to shop on marketplaces in the first place if it is as convenient. So we are seeing many businesses taking this direct-to-consumer approach, as this will allow for greater profit margins, and instead of going through a web store or a marketplace like Amazon. Now you may be wondering to yourself, how exactly do I connect the front end of my business to the back end of my business? The front end, of course, is everything that the user is actually seeing from on the actual website itself. And so everything in that is designed to be as user-friendly as possible and be coherent and help facilitate orders for your business. The back end is where Acumatica actually would come into play. So Acumatica actually has a native connector to both BigCommerce and Shopify, industry leaders in their respective areas. The connector actually, all of it resides in Acumatica, and it's a tool that utilizes REST APIs to send and receive data from the ERP itself and from the website. And so you have the ability to sync in real-time sales orders, shipments, products, customer information, and so much more. Virtually everything that you see on your website is actually stored in the ERP, and that data is just able to be communicated through the connector in real time. One of the prevalent reasons as to why businesses are selecting Acumatica is because of the inventory management functionality that exists. Inventory levels are able to be optimized with automatic reorder points, preventing stockouts and back orders. You have the ability to manage multiple warehouses if that is applicable to you, as well as matrix locations and bin locations, and so much more. Customers can actually see inventory levels and have customer-specific pricing. On the warehouse management side of things, you're able to streamline operations and transactions to reduce errors, automate processes, and increase productivity. warehouse management system provides functionality and barcode scanning, specifically in relation to pick, pack, and ship. And you're able to speed up order processing and fulfillment with WMS. Another one of the reasons why businesses are constantly making the switch to Acumatica is this idea of access from anywhere on any time, on any device at any time. Consider this scenario. It's your typical Wednesday morning when you wake up out of bed and as you are preparing your morning coffee, you pull out your smartphone and take a look at what's in store for the day. You pull out your Acumatica dashboard and check out different charts, sales orders, KPIs, anything that's important to you. When you switch over to your desktop at work, you will notice that everything looks and feels the same as it did on your smartphone. Let's just say on this Wednesday, you had to leave work a little early to go to a child's soccer game. At halftime at the soccer game, you get a notification on your smartwatch saying that your signature is needed for approval on something. With Acumatica, you're able to do that, as Acumatica delivers management capabilities from anywhere. Another really unique thing with Acumatica is how it supports rapid integrations and the connected cloud. We are very cognizant of the fact that so many businesses have already invested in cloud technology and will continue to invest in cloud technology. So this slide is a list of some of the best of breed solutions that Acumatica natively connect to. And so Office 365, of course, is one of the most popular, with over 1 million different businesses operating utilizing it. Avalara is actually a great tax resource for it does sales tax automation and addresses validation and verification issues across multiple states. That's something that customers love, having that technology available to them. Leading shipping carrier integrations from FedEx, UPS, USPS, and ShipEngine. And then, of course, the native connectors to both BigCommerce and Shopify to actually set up your e-commerce web store itself. Another really unique thing to Acumatica is the flexible cloud deployment options. So by far, most customers will actually end up selecting the public cloud option, which is hosted with Amazon Web Services, by far the industry leader. But let's just say, for example, that maybe you have a private cloud license for another 12 months, and that's absolutely fine. With Acumatica, you're able to host in the private cloud on that database. And then once that contract is over, you would have the option at that point to switch to the public cloud rather easily with Acumatica, which is just a nice convenience to have that other our competitors don't offer that flexibility with deployment options. And of course, there are no 5-year lock-ins or early cancellation penalties with Acumatica, like some of our competitors like to try to do. Acumatica has a unique take on licensing with this modern growth-friendly approach that can grow or flex with your seasonal needs. So let's just say that you know that you're always very busy during the Christmas holiday season. You're actually able to scale upwards, which will help prevent any possible bottlenecks that might arise. And with Acumatica, you don't have to pay for that tier that you increase to for the entire year like you do with some of our competitors. There are no per user premiums, so growth is not there's not a stunt on growth with having to add a license for each additional user. Every employee would have access to create and receive information for the business to help drive results. Acumatica's pricing is stable and predictable, and there are no artificially low introductory rates to help get your business in the first place that you can kind of see across the market. One of the main concerns that business owners have with considering operating in the cloud is security. With Acumatica, they are extremely robust in this range because of Amazon Web Services as being the leader for data centers, with both cyber and physical security on hand. Another thing that's pretty interesting that you can do with Acumatica is having multi-factor authentication, much in the way that maybe now when you sign into your bank account, a text gets sent to your phone with a code trying to verify that it is you trying to get into your bank account. You can do that with your Acumatica instance, which will help verify that it is actually the employees that it says it is trying to access information to your servers. So now we're actually going to take a look at a case study. Saddleback Leather is a durable leather manufacturer that produce backpacks, briefcases, wallets, and so much more. They have a 100-year warranty and a no-break guarantee on their products. So some of the problems that arose with their old ERP system and web store was that they needed 14 different developers to make it work. The system was so proprietary that it took 10 times as long to make changes than it felt like it should. Search engine optimization was extremely difficult to do on their website, which was a big problem as organic growth had been historically a big driver of business. Their landing pages were operating extremely slow, sometimes in the 9 to 12 second range to load between pages, which is a big problem as Google will penalize you for having slow landing pages. And not many people scroll past the first page of Google results to find products that they're searching for. And then one final problem they had was it was extremely difficult to near impossible to have customer reviews of products on their website, which is just a very nice luxury for other potential customers to look at and review. So that was something that they really wanted to see in a new system. And then some of the key benefits that they ended up receiving by making the switch to Acumatica was a 33% lower cost right out of the gate with way greater functionality. They were able to save $750,000 yearly in IT costs from being able to reduce the IT staff on hand from 14 to 2. They saw an increase in organic traffic of 45%, which has been estimated to pay for their Acumatica instance for the next decade. They received third-party software connections to both the native BigCommerce connector to help set up their web store, as well as ShipStation to set up their shipping carrier needs. They were able to receive greater visibility into their financials, so their executive team is able to see this data in real time and make decisions more rapidly. Something that I had not yet mentioned was that Acumatica is ranked #1 in usability and in customer satisfaction, which are both key determining points when selecting an ERP. And that's one of the reasons why this ease of use is so important, is the ability for businesses that implement Acumatica to have either very minimal people in the IT staff for your business, or in some cases, even nobody in the IT department. And then finally, they were able to gain remote ERP access, boosting productivity from anywhere in the world at any time. So I hope we can all agree that Acumatica makes a very compelling proposition for an ERP solution, but now why Bakerfield Solutions? Bakerfield Solutions leadership team has over 50 years of industry experience. We have a fanatical attention to detail and client satisfaction, and it is this meticulousness that has given us the luxury to work with many companies with household names and be asked upon for speaking engagements at both local and international levels. Bakerfield Solutions employs only the sharpest minds in the IT industry business. And together with Acumatica, we have a winning formula for our clients' success. To summarize today's webinar, we took at some of the most dominant trends in e-commerce today, from convenience being king all the way to direct to consumer, seeing a rise in that. We took a look at why Acumatica and some of the functionality that separates us from our competitors. And then we took a look at, finally, the Bakerfield Solutions leadership team and how our expertise and industry knowledge will be absolutely critical and is necessary for your business moving forward. Next week, we're going to take a look at some of the B2B versus B2C trends, as well as Acumatica dashboards and reporting. This will be a great way to start to get a feel for the software itself, so please make sure to attend. Thank you so much for your time today. My contact information is on screen. Please feel free to reach out for more information or to request a demo. We will be meeting at the same time next week with the same link. So thank you all again for attending today, and I hope to see you there.